taken care of.
Oh my, just stop it.
There we go. Meeting is live. Good morning.
Here we go then. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. This is take two, yeah. Welcome, we love you all. I'm so glad you're here. Let's try this again. So Rory, did you want to start or did you want me to start?
Yeah, I'm just going to start off with a couple of things. By the way, I'm the one that disconnected everybody. I apologize. I was getting some stuff set up. So you guys, there is so much going on. So here's some housekeeping. Tanya's gonna unload awesome knowledge. If you guys want to know why your days don't work right, Tanya's gonna cover that. This stuff is so important. So make sure you jot it down. All right. It's recorded. It's recorded. She's gonna be in the first part of this. And then I have some insane things to drop on you guys when she's done. Guys, I'm starting to get into it's my playground, and we're going to talk about the PBS Vortex. But you guys, I'm making things better. I'm testing things out. We're all going to be able to make more money. Like, you guys follow what I tell you to do. It's just about compression now of conversions. We're going to talk about it. All right. And we're talking little things to big things, and the way things are stepping up. And you guys, I'm going to tell you this too. Everybody that's been here for a long time and what you think RRR247 is, we are going to be so different by next year. And I mean in all good ways. Like top end income increasing, the time for income for new people. You guys, it's changing. I'm so freaking ecstatic. I can't sleep very well. My mind's racing. I'm trying to get this all done. And so housekeeping, I went over this with Tanya too just before this. We're gonna have a full PBS marathon next week. We have to. There's too much going on. I got to get some stuff cleaned up. I got to get stuff. And you guys, it's one of those time is money things. Those who are on here next Saturday are going to increase their income if you do what I tell you to do, if you follow what I teach you to do. And we're going to cover some more bases on it, because it's not like I see where it is. I know what we got to do. And now I'm like, we got to get in motion. And I'm just not ready to show you guys it yet, but I will be ready by Saturday. And it's going to take that day of cleanup, moving things around, making sure everybody understands. It's going to be 5 minutes of my brain spelled out over hours so everybody can keep up. Just so we can get these changes and make it part of the mainstream of what we do, and get that out there. So pay attention to this. Tanya's going to show you some things. Find that extra time. You guys, an extra 5 or 10 minutes a day adds up. An extra 20 minutes a day adds up. And I know Tanya's going to be covering stuff, so I'll let her get on that. But before we get going, we had a 2-day that was scheduled this weekend. We're not doing it because we have conflicts. We have a couple of conflicts, and so we're going to do it it normally be every 2 weeks, but in 2 weeks is Labor Day. You guys, I work those weekends. Like, we take holidays off when we take holidays off. I didn't even think about it being Labor Day, so it's going to be the week after that. And so I had to scramble a bunch of messaging, a bunch of things that are out there. So anybody that's bought a ticket for the 2-day that hasn't attended yet, you can still attend those. You just got to let your MSI know, because we got to make sure you're accounted for there, and press on it. And one thing I'm going to stress, okay, because there's a whole process of education and handholding that happens during those 2 days. We're going to have to put a cutoff time on when people can buy tickets to attend that next 2-day, so that we don't have people get dropped because they signed up on Friday at midnight before Saturday. We can't do that. So we're going to have a cutoff time, and it's probably going to end up being like Wednesday at midnight the week before, or the Wednesday before, just so that, and really people should be getting registered ahead of time, just out of courtesy to the team and the trainers. You guys, we are opening up an amazing world. And I always say this, like, I'm shocked at where this vision's going. I'm shocked at what stuff comes to us this way. I didn't used to be shocked. I'm like, I expected it. Now, you guys, things just get, you should see the other stuff that we're looking at. And I'm putting things on pause. We got to get caught up with what we have. There's more stuff coming. And I also want to make sure we don't overwhelm everybody. Let's get caught up. But you guys, we got stuff set up. If we get this right, I mean, it's going to change the dynamics in a very positive way from the new person to the existing established, what I call a veteran RRR247 family member that's been here for years. Yeah, you know, guys, I always knew that what we were doing was big and would never be replaced. But I also am seeing some things where the doors that are shutting because of like AI and ulterior marketing things that just are just being phased out, we're becoming more dominant in what we do. The blogging aspect, the social media reach, in case you guys didn't know, it's big. And when I came up with, and there's a collaboration, but when we came up with it, when I came up with the understanding of the consensus marketing and what we needed to do, and then we started creating these memes, you guys, we were ahead of the time. We're still ahead. And that pressing, all of us doing that everywhere is going to have the biggest freaking impact. And we're going to be competing at a higher level because of our numbers than big corporations that are doing it with money. They're spending the money to get out there. We're going to be leveraging our reach and our exposure times all of us. And we all gain from it. And we're going to have the right things to kind of represent, the right things to keep messaging. And you guys know I put that broker thing out, which is tied to Evolve. It is blown up because I have people that I haven't talked to in years that are reaching out. And they're like, Rory, we got some properties to talk to you about. We're involved in this. We had no idea you were doing that. We got to talk. It is, you guys saw me post that one freaking time, and then I loaded it up in my automation in Hero Post that I use. Unfreaking real what it's light up over this week. And you guys, we're going to be creating more and more of that with the right messaging and the right things. So make sure you guys are all doing that. All right. That being said, Tanya, it's all yours. And I'm taking notes too, guys. I learn from this woman every day. And there's things that, you know, she knows this so well, and she speaks on it. And I'll be like going, wait a second. I never thought of it that way on the timing. And she's like, yeah, that's how it works. I'm like, how did I miss that before? So take notes, reread them, organize it. If you do not have your life scheduled, get it scheduled. That's probably the best thing you can start out with. Anytime, like, what do I need to do to get my business going right? Well, schedule your life so that you can make scheduling time for success. Success doesn't happen. It has to be planned. All right, all yours, babe.
Thanks. So, like I said, take two. So anyway, welcome you guys. If you don't know, I've been doing this for a long time, like time management, time blocking is what I like to call it, and just prioritizing. And I said before, but a lot of my notes and a lot of my training comes from an amazing mentor that my husband and I had. His name was Jim Rohn. He is now in heaven. And I'm sure he's still continuing to do this there. He was an amazing, amazing man. And we were lucky enough to hear him in person. And Roy even had more of a deeper relationship with him than I did, as they would speak on stages and kind of go off stage together and be able to chat and spend time together. I know Niall was been blessed with him as well. But I truly believe he was inspired by God for his things. And he's actually the mentor for all these new people that talk about health and wellness and all that, like all the new stuff. He was the mentor for them. So if you're listening to any of these new people talk, it's all from him. And he was just an amazing, amazing man. And I was lucky enough to be able to have that experience in my life. And it really shifted me. And you guys, when you do anything that's to better yourself, it really all comes from mindset. It really does. And you only know what you know right now, and you're in your little block of your mind. But when you want to fix something, or when you want to change something in your life, you have to open yourself up. You have to be open to accepting different information and going down a different path. And the things that I have to say are not like, they're not going to be like mind shattering, but they're just going to be maybe a tweak on something that you haven't done, or that you didn't know. But so I'm gonna say a few things, and then we'll kind of get into scheduling. So I hope you guys have like a schedule by you guys. But the truth is, you guys, we'll talk about that a little bit later. We're not gonna do a ton of scheduling. I'm gonna just talk to you about it, and then we'll kind of move into there. We'll see what has time permits here. But I just wanted to first say that time management really isn't about managing time. It's really about managing yourself. Okay. And most people, like when you work for somebody else, you have somebody managing you, right? They're telling you when to show up, what needs to be done by the day, what's your priorities, what they're trying to accomplish. They have all that there for you. So you're showing up at a job and they're telling you all this. So the shift happens is when you're able to take that role for yourself. right? So if you're like a really driven person, you obviously know, okay, I need A, B, and C to get where I want to go. And so you're able to focus that there. And the thing about time management and about time is really, truly, it all to me goes back to goals and personal development. Because where do you want to go with yourself? If you know where you want to go, what you want to be when you grow up, if you will, then you know how to schedule and block your day. So it's just really that important. It really is, because time is the most valuable resource we have. Okay, it is the one thing that you cannot make more of. You can't earn more of it. You can't find more of it. Well, I mean, unless you manage your schedule inappropriately and you find it that way. But you can't just like, hey, I'm going to go buy some more time, right? There was a movie about that once. I always thought that was fascinating because you can't buy it. You can't buy more. And also time is a gift. We never know what God's going to give us, how much time we're going to have here, and what we're able to achieve. We don't know that. That's a gift. That's a gift for us. And so it's really important to make the most of what we have. And the thing is successful people understand that failure is just throwing away your time, right? So success and failure really comes down to knowing what you do with your time and how you're managing your hours. And so wasting time doesn't always look like wasting time. It doesn't look like laziness. It doesn't look like procrastination. Now, sometimes it does. And those are the obvious factors, right? When you're just lounging on social media and scrolling through the phone, or when you're watching a movie, or you're binge watching a series, or even reading a book. Like it could be anything. But to me, time wasting, it looks so differently. It can even be activities that drain your energy. That's time wasting, because now you've done something that's drained you, made you tired, and you're not able to be proficient in whatever you need to be proficient in. So there's so many different ways. It can look also like indecision. So this used to be my thing. I could not make a decision, and I would spend so much time on the facts, and I wanted to know all the information before I made the decision, that I ended up wasting the opportunity. And I ended up wasting hours of my life and days sometimes that I couldn't get back. So it can also look like that. So it's just about having the understanding that we're not going to beat ourselves up here. That's not what this is about. It's really about, do I want to get better? And do I want to change my focus? At the beginning of this year, I did this whole goal setting series for the year, for setting up for success for the year, with goals and different pathways. And so I'm not going to repeat that because we're at the end of the year, but truly, you guys, I know there's a lot of you that are new. That's what you need to do now. So after this, that's what you need to do. We're getting into the busy season of our year. This is, well, one of the busy seasons, but this is going to just blow. Everybody's going back to school. People are looking for more opportunities. This is when things open up. And the thing about opportunity, you guys, is either you're ready for it or you're not. And half of the opportunity, half of the greatness about opportunity is just being able to receive it when it's there in front of you, right? So it's like we got to set ourselves up for success. So I highly suggest that you guys take some time and go back and review my Saturday training that I did. I think it was the first Saturday in the new year, or maybe it was right before the new year. But go back and review that and kind of review your goals, revisit your goals. Because truly time management comes from knowing what you want to, where you want to go, what you want to do, what you want to be, and what you want to see. And I find that it's just small little steps over time that achieve great results. So I used to be one of those people that was all in, man. I'd start something and I would just be everything. I had to do everything all at once, boom, 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 boom. And little by little, I'd get so worn out, I couldn't finish it. And now I know how important it is just to tweak what we're doing and slowly build upon those blocks, right? Of habits and success. So the challenge, you guys, is to be able to see where you're wasting opportunity in your life, where you're wasting time, because time is opportunity to me. And if you want to move forward, then it's not about cramming activity in your day. So that's not what we're trying to do. It's really about dedicating your time to things that don't drain your energy, but they help promote you forward. So when you want to start respecting your time, you start respecting your potential. And that was a wow thing for me. Okay, when you start respecting your time, you start respecting your potential. So if you want to have potential, if you want to be successful, respect your time, friends. It's really that important. You know, I know you can respect others' time and you respect them, but I think a lot of people don't realize that they're important too, and that your time is important as well. and you have to do the things that help you see your potential through. So when you combine respect with deliberate action, you create a life of purpose. So I want my life to be a life of purpose. So I have made deliberate action and deliberate steps to make myself successful in the areas that I want to be successful in. Also, when you have deliberate steps and you're taking deliberate action, you create what's called momentum. And momentum is a beautiful thing, my friends. When you step off that pedal of momentum, it takes so much more now to get up those steps, give that energy. I was just talking to Rory about that. We see people here that come and go and they have to start all over again and they get so frustrated. I'm like, yeah, because you took your foot off the gas pedal, friends. If you stopped and doing what's going to push you up that hill, you want that forward momentum so that it just makes it so much easier. So you can just sail on down and keep going, keep growing and learning. And so I feel like a lot of people have just realized that they don't have that opportunity anymore. They don't feel like they have that momentum. And it's okay to start over, but just be consistent so you have that momentum. So how do we go about this, guys? We're going to do some steps like I like to always do. Step 1 is being brutally honest with yourself. Don't lie to yourself because you're the only one that's going to see it, right? Don't lie and say, I don't sugarcoat. Yeah, I did this or I did that. No, 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 no. You got to be brutally honest with yourself. And it's not about tearing yourself down. It's just it's about seeing the facts, right? To me, it's black and white. It's a spreadsheet. It's facts. So I want to make sure I say this, you guys, because busy does not equate value. So just because you're busy and you're doing busy things does not equate value in your day. And that is a time waster, is being busy, 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 just because you think that that is making you successful. And it is absolutely not. So I always tell everybody this is step 2, is start with 1 week of writing down everything. Now you do not need a planner with time blocking. You can get those if you want, but you need at least a notebook, and you need to be, and it's very tedious for the first week. You do it for 1 week and it's very tedious, but you need to do it. It's the only way for you to see what's going on in your life, because a lot of people do not understand where time is gone. And you guys, I have helped so many people go over their schedules and have helped them see what they're doing wrong. And it's not that they're doing wrong, it's just where they're wasting time, or they're focusing on things that they didn't realize they were focusing on. And sometimes it's as simple as starting them in the morning with being on social media in the morning. How much does that affect your day? Like I see something in the news that's devastating and it blows me. I have a hard time coming back from that and resetting myself. So I don't look at social media in the morning. It's just about those opportunities and those things that you're doing. But take 1 week and track everything from wake up to sleep. Everything. Your bathroom breaks, your walks, you're on the phone for how long, what were you doing on social media, what were you doing in TikTok if you like that? I don't even follow that, so I don't know. But that, or wherever you are, what were you doing? Was it purposeful? Was it not? So you're going to detail everything first. You're not even taking any questions. You're detailing. Okay, I had to make dinner, so I cooked for this long. I did dishes for this long. I went for a walk. I was on the phone. I read the Bible. Whatever you did, you're going to write that down. Okay, so that's the second step. Now, it's again, like I said, it's not about ripping yourself apart. It's about getting the data, because it's impossible to make informed decisions without data. You need the information so that you can see how to make informed decisions to shift and change yourself, right? So that's what it is about. So it's be detailed when you do this, and so that you can make those informed decisions. Now, step 3 is you're going to ask yourself hard questions now. It's going to be the end of that week. You've written everything down, so you have it all compiled in a book or whatever. I really do like having, I don't know if you guys can see, it's a time blocking schedule. I like having that because then I can detail everything out. But you don't have to. You can also just make your own. Just get a blank note paper and just write the daytime from when you wake up to when you go to sleep, and then you can write down everything in there. But you can see that way as well. Whatever viewpoint makes you happy, whatever is easier for you to assess, is use that. But so you're going to ask yourself 3 questions. And again, be honest, because nobody's looking at them but you. And the first one would be, which activities are moving you closer to your goals? So when you assess your week, what activities in that time are moving you closer to your goals? So you see, I said, friends, you have to know your goals, because you have to know where you want to be before you can figure out your time, right? So that would be your first one. The second question you're going to ask yourself is, which ones are draining your energy but not just draining your energy without helping your growth. So sometimes, we're aging, we're older, things just drain us. We're tired. But so that's not what you're looking at. You're looking at what's actually draining you that's not helping you, right? What are things that you have to do? Maybe you have to do them, but they're draining your energy and you can't get the things accomplished that you want to fix your goals. So that would be the second one. The third question would be, which tasks could be delegated, streamlined, or eliminated altogether? So which tasks could be delegated, streamlined, or eliminated altogether? I think sometimes, like I said, we do things in our day that we do, but we're not consistent with it. You guys, I had to be so careful with my time when I had younger kids at home because I had 7 children, 6 boys, 1 girl. 6 boys were at competitive sports. My daughter was in competitive dance. We were going like crazy. I was working a full-time job and helping Rory build things from behind the scenes as well, while he was working and building things and working and doing other things as well. So we were stretched thin. To say we were stretched thin is an understatement. Okay. I was lucky at that point in my life to get a couple hours of sleep. It was just everything. So I found processes and things that even do your home life when you're doing all the things you need to do for your home life, that I streamlined that to make it more efficient. Because I just was like, okay, God, I cannot do this. I can't do this. Why'd you give me all these kids? I don't know what I'm doing. And through a lot of prayer and direction, I got a process that helped me to get everything done that I needed to get done and to be efficient and to be doing my most important job, which was showing up for my children with energy to love them and direct them. So that was super hard, but I figured it out. And that's what it's all about. It's about just being honest. And I honestly very much encourage you to pray, to pray over everything, to ask for directions from God, because he really wants to help you and direct you. So just what can you eliminate? What can you put together? And that's what I did. I started combining things together. When I was doing my away from home job, that was that. But when I was doing my home job, which was helping build our company and doing things for our company, I would think, okay, if I have to get up from my desk, I'm gonna lose some time. So what can I do while I'm away to use the most of that time? So when I come back, I can be effective. It's also about what can I do at night to set up my day for success tomorrow. So we'll talk about all that, but it's all about those things, but you have to be able to look at those and see what you need to do. So again, the whole reason for these questions, the step 3, is really the goal for this is to identify the patterns of inefficiency. That's it. And so that you can change them to purpose, right? So if you're spending most of your day reacting to others, then you're not being successful. You're wasting your energy. And you have to be able to react to you with purpose and what you need to do. So if you're reacting to others, you might need to set boundaries. You have to be fiercely protective of your focus. And it's not selfish. You have to be fiercely protective of your focus. And you cannot be available to everybody at all times. It's just not possible. You're only one person. So you have to set your priorities in order every single day and allow yourself the time that you need to be effective in that hour. Or that particular time. So again, it's I used to have a hard time saying no, but I don't anymore because I can only do so much. I'm only one person. I'm not going to waste time being worried or having anxiety about hurting somebody because I'm doing what I need to do. I'm doing the path and I'm working the plan that I've come to a decision with my partner, with my family, with my God. So I'm working that plan and whatever that is for you. Now, a couple other things I want to say that are time wasters that we don't understand, besides being available to everybody, is indecision. I talked about this a little bit, but when you spend so much time trying to make decisions on little things, you waste your energy for the bigger things. So a system that I set up for this one, if you guys are like this at all, was I would set time limits on decisions. Literally, you guys, when you start from the very beginning, you have to start small like that. So I would set time limits. Okay, this is a decision. If it's a stupid little decision, or maybe it's not stupid, I shouldn't use that word, but it's just like, what are we having for dinner? Oh my goodness, I can't. So, okay, I have 10 minutes to decide. Boom, go to the pantry. Let's look and see what we got. We're done. Okay, we're going. We're rocking and rolling. So you just have to know and set time limits for yourself in certain areas. And that helps you guys. It does help you move. And then you learn to move faster with making decisions. And it puts you in an ability to keep flowing, keep moving forward. And so another huge time waster is distractions. And they come in all forms, you guys, all forms. They come from our beautiful people that we have in our lives, as well as people we're working with, of course, like I've already mentioned. but they also come on jumping from task to task and not finishing things. Hey, I'm going to do a little bit here. I'm going to go over here and do a little bit here. I'm going to go a little bit here. And then you haven't finished anything. So jumping from task to task helps nobody. You're not getting things done. You're not moving forward with your goals. It's also it's fighting urges to check your device, like your phone, like you get a ping, you get a text message alert and you want to check it. Say no, say no. So unless you have a code with your family, if it's an emergency, I have one set up. If it's a emergency, it'll come through and tell me. I put my phone on do not disturb, and nothing goes through unless I have a couple people that if it's an emergency, it'll go through. So you can do that. But if we're working, you don't need to be checking your messages all the time. You need to be focused on what you're doing and looking at jumping on different messages. I get these messages for TikTok. I'm not even on that thing, but I'll get messages from people on TikTok. I'm like, why? I'm not going to go jump on that, right? I'm not going to go jump on different messages. I get messages all the time, so does Rory. And then I have a set time to answer messages, and I kind of review through them and kind of go the priorities and go down to get what I can accomplish in that time. But it's really just about recognizing the triggers that help you to that you want to, hey, that something triggers you to go get off your task. You got to recognize the trigger so you can set it firm boundaries or eliminate it altogether. Okay. And you can't assume that you are managing your time well. You have to be willing to examine the information and be willing to make changes. And a lot of us as we get older and we're set in our ways is a term for a reason, right? It's hard for us to want to evaluate anything and to be willing to make changes. But we're not perfect. Only one man was, and he's in us. So we have to be willing to, examine the information that we've collected and be willing to make the changes that need to be changed. This also means letting go of excuses and confronting habits that aren't serving you. So we make excuses for ourselves all the time. And I have a friend that goes into the bathroom to relax in the morning and he's on his phone for like 45 minutes to an hour. Makes all kinds of excuses as to why he's not available during that time. There's no business being in that long. Move along, friends. And I don't mean to be indelicate, but you know what I'm saying? Like there's an excuse. You don't need to be on social media and be that long in the morning specifically. There's a time and a purpose for that. And I don't know when it is. It's when you're posting ads. That's when it is. I had to think about that one. So this means letting go of the excuses and confronting the habits that aren't serving you. And sometimes you will have to say no, and that's okay. You have to, the goal of this is to understand that time is finite, you guys. We don't have a whole bunch of it. We just have what we have in that. We have the 24 hours in the day. I used to get asked the question all the time, how do you do everything that you do in a day? It's because I've learned to combine processes to make things a priority and get everything that I can accomplish that I need to get accomplished. So when I go to bed at the end of the night, I've done what I need to do and I feel happy about my day and I haven't wasted my time. And so many people waste their time on TV. I don't watch TV. They waste their time on so many other activities that don't need to be done. Is that helping you grow? I know I'm not saying I don't watch TV. I do, but I watch certain shows, certain things that are like inspirational or have directions for good. But you have to be using those things in the purpose and in the time and in the day that you need it. And when you're building something, you guys, sometimes not sometimes, always, you really need to let go of everything that you can for the first 6 months to a year and focus on what you're building. And that means saying no to family. That means saying no to church activities sometimes. That means saying no because there's a time and a place and a season for everything in your life. And when you're building, you need to focus and build so that you can create that momentum and that speed to continue on. So every hour you spend on something meaningless is an hour that you've taken away from something that could change your life. So just put that in perspective, guys. So when you're doing something meaningless, you're taking away from something that could really change and affect your life. With this shift from wasting time to winning it, you will have amazing results by the end of a year. I always say give it a year, but even in 6 months, you should be checking in with yourself every quarter, every month, and checking in with yourself. And you should see results that soon. Even if it's just your mindset, which is amazing, that changes everything. So prioritization starts with clarity. And by doing these steps that I've kind of talked to you about, that it will help you get the clarity and the focus that you need. If you do not have goals, if you don't have a path, you're like a sailboat drifting without sails, right? You're just going here, you're just waiting for the wind to blow you around. But when you start to prioritize, your path becomes clear, and it's like you have sails and a map and you're moving forward. So another thing to remember is that movement isn't progress. Activity is not the same as accomplishment. It has to be focused and put with direction and with thought and willingness to change. And that's why I always like to say that goals are a living and breathing thing, because they do change with you. You need to reevaluate them always. You need to reassess yourself. And I cannot tell you how many times I have done the week challenge where I've written out my schedule from morning to night just to see if I could put something else in, or to see if I could switch something or change something. And that's okay. You should be checking in with yourself regularly. You just need to give yourself the grace and the love, and you're not going to be beating yourself up about it, because have I met every single goal I set out for myself this year? No. Life happens, things happen. So I've had to shift and maybe elongate a goal or shorten a goal to work on something quicker. But you have to be willing to take that assessment. And I'm not beating myself up about it. I did what I needed to do, but I was willing to take the direction, the steps, and move forward. So with that being said, we're going to talk a little bit more about time management, and specifically also goals. So I want you guys to remember the goals that you set at the beginning of this year. Where did you want to be at the end of this year? You guys need to reassess that now, or you can do that tomorrow. If you're taking notes today, you can do that tomorrow. It's fine. Take a quiet day. Change your environment, my friends. I strongly recommend that. When you're at home at your desk or whatever, it's easy for distractions to happen because you're in your familiar environment. Sometimes going to a coffee shop is great. Going in there, go into a park and writing things down. We can't do that in Florida. It's way too darn hot right now. But you could go to a park. You could take a drive up the canyon or up the mountain if you live in a mountainous area. That's what I used to do all the time when I lived in that area. We drive up there and park and just kind of meditate and think there. And that would help me find clarity and get a direction for my goals. Now, we all have different areas, and I've talked about the areas that there's like the 8 areas of our life again, and the different areas. But the truth is, you cannot focus on every single area at once. There has to be 1 or 2 main goals, right, in your life that you're focusing on, and the other ones that you can fit in here and there. And that's kind of how it works. There's areas that you need to fix. And I believe most of y'all are here because you need to fix your work life. You're trying to build something for yourselves here to create momentum and growth within this area. So that's obviously needs to be a priority goal for you. I'm always going to say that the goal with building a relationship with your Lord is very important as well. So those are ones that I think are so important that you can never, go without. So make sure that you're setting your goals for those, because they are super important, and they help you endlessly. So just a side note, you guys, I'm very, very Christian, if you don't know. And I take my beliefs, my beliefs and my knowledge as a goal as well, because I use that as, where do I want to end up? What's my ultimate goal? Where do I want to end up when I leave this life, right? This life is only small. So my goals are going to reflect where I want to go when I'm done with this life. And that ain't down, that's up. So I'm trying to make sure I'm evaluating myself there as well. And I'm always continuing with opening myself up to being changed in that direction as well. I'm just a small child, and I'm trying to change myself in that direction as well. So it's the same there, it's the same here. So when I'm telling you guys how to set goals, I'm meaning it in every aspect of your life. Where do you want to end up? And then we're going to set goals accordingly. Where do you want to end up here? What do you want to do? Maybe it's an income potential. Maybe it's a title you want. Maybe it's a community you want. Whatever it is that you're looking for here, have that be your end goal. And then we're going to dial it backwards, right? We're going to dial it backwards to break it up into small bites. You've heard the expression, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time, right? So it's the same thing here. You're going to dial it back. So you always start with your end goal. Where do I want to be? X. And I would say for this part, where do you guys want to be in December? Now, the end of the year, getting ready to start the new year. Where does that look like to you? Write that down. Take a moment. What does it look like to you to have that goal and that focus? Okay, this is where I want to be. And then take the time to break that up by steps. Okay, so if we have I'm not counting August right now, although you can start going in August. I'm not saying that. We have September, October, November, and December. You have 4 months. So break that up by 4 months. Right? And then when you break it up by the months, then you can break it up by weeks. And start now. Don't wait. I hate that when people say, oh, I'm going to start my diet on Monday. Don't do that. Don't do that, my friends. Start now. because you can start now. It's okay. If you get hit the goal close sooner, that's great. That's amazing. You can start on another one, right? So if you break it down like that, it's so much more achievable. I remember talking to my girlfriend and she was trying to lose like 50 pounds. And I said, well, break that up over 5 months. That's 10 pounds. Now break that up over a week. You can do little things like that. If you break it up into like, I think it would end up being like, I don't know, it was more than that, I think, but it was ended up being like a half a pound a week or something. That's doable. That's doable. It's achievable when you have small goals like that. You want to get a new student. Okay, great. Now that you've broken those down, we're going to get to the other part, the new student part here. Now, this is the good part. I think it's all the good part, but this is another good part. What are the action steps you need to take to achieve that goal? So you've broken it up. Okay, this is where I want to be. That means I have these check-in points every month. Okay, this is where I want to be. So what are the action steps I need to take to hit that goal? Those are super important. Okay, now this isn't a process again that you're going to do it for a week and then you're going to reevaluate yourself. Okay, did those work for me? Do I need to change something? Do I need more time for a task? Do I need less time? And you're going to fluctuate that. And then that goes, if with all those, that goes now to our time schedule. Okay, so there's a couple of things that are really important when you're blocking out your time. Is that you have to have a system. We have a system with this company. Rory's amazing with this system here. It's brilliant. And truthfully, you guys, he showed me the numbers and I've seen them all on the spreadsheets. If you get 5 PBS sales a week and what it looks like for your income potential. So if you're consistently getting those, your income potential should be X, and it should be. It will be, because numbers don't lie. It's all about what you're putting into it and what you're getting. So if you guys want to get that, how much fee marketing do you have to do? How much do you have to do? Maybe you have to do more right now. Sometimes, the world's at ebbs and flows. Sometimes you're going to have to do more, and sometimes it'll be easier for you. It just depends on the time of year and different things. But you have to be willing to put in the extra time when it's needed, and then you can not slack off, but back up a little bit with the time when it's not. But you just have to know, and like summers are those times you just have to work a little harder. But you have to show up for yourself. You have to continue to show up to grow. So now when you're going through your schedule, I always start with what are my 3 priorities for the day? What are the 3 things that I want to get accomplished today? Whatever, A, B, C, whatever they are. I want to do my V marketing. I want to reach out and sign up at least 1 new PBS student today. I want to attend a training to learn more about X, Y, Z. So that whatever it is that you are new, if you're new and you're learning stuff, that's fine. I'm going to say something important. Once we start with the action items, then we're going to go into the time blocking. And I call it time blocking. That's how I was trained. But you want to make sure when you're blocking out your time that you're taking the time that is the work time and you're doing the productive things in that work time. Okay. So like if you want to do a training or you want to write a page, you want to do something like that, do that in the evening when you can't be on phones, right? So you're making sure that you're going to make the most out of your day, whatever your day looks like for you. Maybe you have a job that's away from here. And this is you're trying to get this to be your full-time baby. So this is your side hustle right now that you're hustling hard, right? So whatever it looks like for you. So after you have your 3 priorities, you're going to fill in your week of whatever are commitments that you have made. So if you have any appointments or like calls with people, that's on your schedule. So any appointments, because your word is your bond, so that's going to be next. If you have a full-time job, you're going to block off those. But that doesn't mean you can't do anything during your job. That means you have other times in your job. I know because I did it, that you can do other things. But you're just blocking off the time that you're not available to work. Maybe it's you have a set family dinner that you have an hour that you have family dinner. Mark it off. That's fine. Do what you need to do to mark your schedule. And you have a doctor's appointment. So when you're blocking off the things, make sure you're keeping in mind that the travel from going back and forth, you have to have that travel time set as well. So make sure you're keeping all that scheduled. So that's your first part of it is going to be to make sure you're blocking out all the time. So after that, after you've set your time and you've blocked off all your appointments and all your necessary things, that's when you're going to make sure that you can time block anything that you can, any action items that you can to meet those steps, those priorities that you have. Okay. So if you feel like after you've taken your week of doing your time mapping and seeing what you're doing, if you feel like you need to consolidate different tasks and do things differently, you can do that as well. But you need to try to do all, like, set out your schedule, but then write everything down, make sure you know what you're doing and you're moving forward with your goals. At the end of the month, at the end of the week, excuse me, you got to reassess your week. How did it go? I usually assess myself at the end of every day. It's part of I have a morning routine and an evening routine, and that's how I'm active. I wanted to say something. My brother would mow lawns during college to pay for his college tuition. All summer long, he would mow like crazy to make money to help pay his tuition. And he told me, Tanya, I noticed something. I mean, we were young because we're a year apart. And he said, I noticed something. I have poor neighborhoods and I have rich neighborhoods. And you'd go into a rich neighborhood and they're up and going and doing things early in the morning. You go into a poor neighborhood and they're all sleeping in and mad at you because you're mowing. At the same time, doesn't matter. So if you want to be successful, wealthy people do this too. They take advantage of the time in their life. They do things and they're always continually working on things and growing and promoting themselves, even when they have what they want. So you just have to know that it's completely a mindset. I don't believe in sleeping in. I think you should be consistent on your wake ups and your sleeps. Sometimes obviously things happen, you're ill and that's necessary. And sometimes you're like me and you have a grandchild that likes kicking you in the head all night. So then you have to have a little bit of sleep. So sometimes you have to do that, but make sure you're allowing for that. Cause I allow myself the extra time. If I know I'm having an overnight with one of my babies, that I'm like, okay, then make sure the next day I have a little extra time in the morning to refresh myself. So you just have to make sure you're setting your schedule to work for you. So you're not working for it. And it's not like this is law. It should be, this is a very firm suggestion, but you only tweak it as necessary if you absolutely needed to in the day. For instance, if you have time that you're marketing, but you get somebody on the phone, you're going to shift your marketing now to talking to that person on the phone, right? Because that's going to bring you closer to getting that one sale, that one PBS, that one thing, the one connection, the team growth, the family member in your team. So whatever that is, that's what you're going to do. So I suggest doing this schedule review either on a Friday night or a Saturday night or Sunday, and to whatever works for you. I like to do it on a Sunday after church. My mind's open and clear. I like to be able to have that time to kind of set up my week and get ready for the next week. I set up all processes, guys. I don't just do my work stuff. I do my Bible reading. What am I going to read? What I'm going to study on? Where's my prayer? What am I going to pray? I like to pray on Bible passages. So I pick those ahead of time as well. I also meal plan for the whole week. So I have the whole week done. I know what I need to set out at night for the next day and what I need to have. I will make lunches for my husband and I, so they're ready to go for the week, so we can just grab them and go. So I make sure everything is mapped out, you guys, even up down to the cleaning. I found that if you clean a room a day, it's like 15-20 minutes. It's quick and easy, gets it done, your house is done. So I've even done that because I've just had to do it. You do what you have to do. So anyway, I've done all that. So I just kind of map out my whole week doing all those things. Everything's mapped out and ready to go. So that I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm focusing on. Also, you guys, I would map out what pages you want to write and when do you want to post, right? We're always trying to bring eyes to our PBSs. You guys, that is an amazing tool that we have. And so we always want to make sure we're writing new pages. So whatever time you have for your PBS, if you are not new, so this is if you have finished your PBS, right? So if you finished your PBS, if you're not new, then you want to have whatever time that you have to put towards your PBS. And this needs to be consistent, guys, even for your old people who've been for a long time. You should be writing new content and you should be posting and advertising. So half content, half posting ads. So you need to have that ability that you need to make sure you're doing that. So you're continuing to grow and promote yourself. And lifestyle sells, real stories sell. That's just what it is. And I don't mean the sell as in a sell. I mean as a connection, right? If I was to tell you my life story, I would connect with somebody here who had a similar one. And that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to make connections so we can touch a little light on people and help them to improve themselves, help them to grow closer to having time freedom. As I say this all the time, you guys, but time freedom to me means that you have more time to devote to a higher power, to your spiritual self, to directing yourself for better. So Rory is a true leader, you guys. He is a servant leader. And he doesn't say this at all, but he pushes hard when you guys don't. He wants to be the example for you guys when you guys don't show up for yourselves. He wants to show you guys that you can do it. And yeah, maybe he has to spend more time. If you guys look at his schedule, it's insane. But he wants to sometimes he has to push harder on marketing too, just like anybody right now. It's been a little bit slower, but that's okay. It's momentum. And also you get better at it as you go, even those times that are a little bit low. but it's insane. And he continues to show up because he wants to show up for you, even if you're not showing up for yourself, because he wants to show you you can do it. It's achievable. And that's what leaders do. They also also look ahead and look at directions and shifting to see what needs to happen for the company. And he's going to tell you some stuff that he's got going on there. But we're always shifting and moving. That's why our PBS is so essential. I told you guys at first I didn't understand it, but I do. The last 10 years really understand and love what we have and the opportunity that we have with the PBS. And it is amazing to be able to reach people with however we want to reach them. I mean, because you can write about your personal stuff as well as business. You have your business pages, but you also have personal stuff as well that you can write about. So we can be back and forth. You guys can do it all. And so it really is important. And it's a tool that we have to use to connect with people. And I think that we've lost that ability since 2020, really, to connect with people. I think you can see a shift in the younger generation for sure. We forgot that we need that energy. We need those people with us. We need to have that give and take. It's part of a community. And I hope that we can find that. But anyway, back to all this. That's what I was saying is that's what we need to do with your schedule. Once you do that, once you have that all mapped out, then you're ready to go and then live it and assess it. So you live a day, assess a day, live a day, assess a day. Or if you think it's better for you, live a week and assess a week. I like to keep it pretty fresh when I'm first starting out with my schedule blocking, and I like to assess it in the evening. When I'm done with the last call of the day, which sometimes is a training call, sometimes it's a work call, sometimes it's a marketing call, whatever. I like to reassess myself right after that and see, how did my day go? Where did I waste time? And what can I do better to reach my goals? And again, it's not about beating yourself up. It's just about finding a path for you that works. So many of you guys give up on yourselves, and it breaks my heart for you because it's there. The ability to do this and help others and grow is there. You just have to keep showing up and being consistent and not doing the little bitty things that waste time. So many people think, oh, I'm answering emails, I'm answering texts, I'm doing the things. Why am I making any money? It's because you're not doing the payable items. You're not doing the things that move you forward. And I'm not saying that you don't have to do some of those things. Well, of course, you have to train your new students, but actually that will make you money in the long run because you're training a group of people to be like you, to work like you. So if you are a leader here, I'm going to encourage you guys. I'm going to actually challenge you guys. You're a leader. You show up for yourself, show up for your team so they can see it. Like I just said, Rory shows up for no matter what, no matter how long he's been working, how hard, and he still continues to do it. Show up for yourselves. Get your 5 a week. Show your team that it's achievable. And some weeks, maybe you won't get 5. Maybe you'll get 4. But you tried your butt off, and that's okay. Then you understand, you have that compassion, that empathy for when they had a bad week, right? But keep pushing forward. As a leader, be the inspiration that they need so that they can continue on their dreams. Because you are supposed to nurture and love them and help encourage them on their path for growth. And that's what's so important. And it's one of the amazing things we have here at this community. Is that we love each other, we encourage each other, we continue to help each other grow and learn. And I hope that if anyone comes to you with a question, don't make them feel stupid. Please just help them. I would answer it and show them where they can find the answer. That's what we need to do, because even me, I've been here for a long time. I would still have to ask some questions. Everybody has to ask questions. And so I just want to make sure you guys are doing that as leaders, and you're doing that as you're encouraging your team to grow. Because growth happens where love is. So if you're loving and encouraging and working hard, that's where growth will happen. So anyway, Rory, do you have anything else you'd like to add to my thoughts here?
Well, okay. I got some good notes out of this. The only thing I don't know if I can just say is just, I want to just put a big exclamation mark on it all. And because she's got her nice tones going on, but you guys, if you don't manage your time and you're not succeeding where you want to succeed, I'm going to tell you where you need to fix it is managing your time. Like it's probably the single most important thing you can do in your day is manage your time. We all have great ideas what we want to do. We get excited. We go I'm going to do this and I could do this. And what if I did that? Oh, I'm going to do this. But if you don't execute it, it doesn't matter. lot of people have brilliant ideas or an invention in their mind, but they don't execute. Execution is what matters. But you can't execute if you don't have time to execute and if you don't make it a priority to execute. Execution means you're actually physically doing something. You got to invest the time. Maybe you have to learn how to do it. Maybe you have to like do steps along the way. Not everything is going to just be you go do it. Sometimes you don't know how to do it. Sometimes you got to learn how to do it in the first place. Most things you got to learn how to do in the first place, right? And this is why we put so much emphasis on training. And I'm going to tell you guys, we value the training so much. We do it constantly. Why? Because we know that if we don't train people to do this, they're not going to be able to do it on their own. What we do is complex. It is. We're doing things that people just don't understand, and we're doing measures, and we're training people that have no idea how this works, how to make it work. And we know that the priority has to be there. We have set time for training all week long. That's the priority, right? And guys, I live by priorities. I even made this thing up here, so it's always reminding me what my priorities are. It's on the bottom of the instructor training. So Tanya, I don't have anything to add other than a big exclamation mark and just emphasis on train your, you want to succeed, you got to plan for it. Big exclamation mark on what you just said.
Okay, great. I'm glad you like what I had to say. But guys, it works. It works. Showing up for yourself, it works. I'd also say one of the things I didn't really talk about was that you need to learn how to reset, refocus, recommit. Because sometimes there's things that happen in your day that throw you off, and you have to learn how to refocus yourself. And there's, like I said, you'll learn triggers and things that trigger you and avoid those, right? But also on top of that, there's something that's gonna happen that's just you're gonna have a bad call or a bad chat or a bad message. Maybe it's from family, maybe it's from someone you work with, maybe it's someone that's really negative and weighing you down. So you need to have a way to figure out how to reset your brain and get back on path. And however that is for you, but you need to learn that. As a spouse, I try to make sure that I'm encouraging Rory's day, that I'm not triggering him. Sometimes I am a little hot-headed sometimes, but sometimes, I try to encourage that so I'm not affecting his day. So maybe there's something that if you are in a relationship that you can talk to your spouse about to help you encourage you that, okay, I'm going to start my day. Let's not go into the negative talk before I start. There's just patterns that you have to have. I mean, life is hard. We have hard things that happen, and there's a time for that. It's called over dinner with a glass of wine. That's when you do that. But there's times when you have that and there's times when you don't. That's what I'm saying. So just make sure you're directing your thought and your focus on what needs to happen. And when that happens in life, sometimes your whole day can be shot. So you just have to figure out, okay, what can I do? Have a stress ball. Maybe you do jumping jacks for a little bit. Maybe you listen to, you say a prayer. I listen to prayers on meditation, and that I meditate a prayer, and that helps me as well. But whatever helps you to kind of fix your thought process when you have a bad day, figure that out so you know what it is and you have it at the ready, because life happens. And if you're not prepared for it, it rolls right over you. So I would just say that would help you to be more efficient and more effective in your day as well. As well as if there is somebody that you're working with that makes you, that triggers you a lot, perhaps silence them. I don't know, mark the notifications and that they don't notify you. I have a family chat with my siblings that I have to do that with. I love them all, but yeah, I'm gonna be real here. Some of them are very negative, and I'm just like, just silence those notifications so I don't get them. So anyway, I don't know if that works for you Google people, but the iPhone people, it works great for. We can silence a thing. So anyway, so if you have that ability, you can do that. I do it. I have to. It's just, life happens, and sometimes sometimes it gets in your way. So make sure that you're always directing yourself for what you need to do and how you need to move forward. But that's another tip I would suggest, because yeah, life's real. Rory, you disappeared. Where you went?
I didn't disappear.
Oh,
I
you're
just
okay.
took my
Okay.
camera off for a second. Are you done with today's episode?
I think so, unless you think I should.
Tanya. Okay.
Unless you think I should.
Well, I don't know. I could. I honestly think we should probably do this a little more often because we have new people coming in, and and it's in and this is a live recording, so you guys keep that. Yeah, I like the yeah. I'm not even going to Android stuff. It's fine. Um.
Well, yeah, all I know is I have some pretty cool features that I can do that my husband can't. So that's all I'm saying.
Different.
All right, love y'all. I hope you guys took something out of this and it helped you in some way because I really am trying to help you guys, encourage yourselves, encourage you guys to move forward. Um, I just want to see you grow and reach your goals by the end of this year. So I highly suggest you guys take that time to reset and kind of go look at your path and see what you're doing. But definitely do the week challenge with your schedule, guys. Mark everything down, even if you think it's tedious. Even if you think I responded to a text, do it all, like every little thing, so that you can see where your time's going. But anyway, God bless, guys. I love y'all.
All right, so I got some other business stuff to go into. It impacts everybody here, impacts everybody that's not here. So I'm going to talk about the PBS Vortex just so you guys know. And I've been working on this for the past 2 weeks since we got the notice. But we pay to play. We send every message we send, every actually any phone call we make or receive on the PBS Vortex, we're paying rates, right? It's a business service. We're paying to play. And the carriers who've been making, guys, we're paying them a lot of money each month. And we've been, we're subsidizing in that. We knew what the business model needed to be, and we're growing and which is great. But I'm going to tell you guys, they just hiked the rates up 20%. It's like the oil and gas companies, like all the gas stations just go up at the same time. It's just like that. And there's no dispute policy. We can't say we don't want to pay this anymore because that means we don't do SMS it anymore. And they have the promise of helping us deliver better, but that's what we were paying for before. So like it doesn't make sense to me. However, it's a reality. So I'm going through it all and how to best handle it. So here's what's going to happen. September 1, it goes into effect. Again, I've been battling it for 2 weeks. They gave us a 30 days notice. I guess we should be grateful for that. Um, it's a substantial increase. So we figured out what we need to do to make it work. What's going to happen is everybody that's in the PBS Vortex as of September 1 or as of, I guess, August 31st. I think there's 31 days in August. 31 days? Okay, as of August 31st, you'll be grandfathered in at the $59.95 rate. We always grandfather people in. We still have people at the original hosting prices, and it's even more subsidized, even though we increase the servers and all that stuff. It's just kind of how we like to do things. Like you've been with us this long. We're going to invest to keep going forward. The new rate is going to be $79.95. It's going to go up $20, which is almost 20%, but we're just going to keep it the same PBS Vortex commission. So instead of paying out $30 on the 60, those ones will pay out $40 instead, right? So instead of getting $15 on your directs, you're going to get 20. So it's still 4 and yours is paid for. Or if you're grandfathered, you're just going to make extra money going forward on it. It's kind of a win that way. But it's and I'll put this in perspective for everybody. Before we brought this in-house, several of us are spending $250 to $300 or more a month to do SMSing. So we're still at an amazing price. We brought everything in, dropped that price down, but this is a carrier thing. And I went and checked the other providers that we used to use. They're doing almost a 30% increase. They just increase their profits too. So it's across the board. Now, the good news about this is, in theory, it might isolate more of the bad actors. All right. Now, fortunately for us, you guys, we've added this evolve piece to Text 4, and we're seeing that increase revenues. And what I'm going to be walking you guys through next Saturday is how to make that even better. So we're going to take this tool and make even more money with it and increase the longevity of everything as well. All right. Also, we got to be very, very careful, please. Instructors, make sure you're the one that are setting up the SMS templates and that you're doing that right and that the messaging goes out correctly. And that we're always sending the first name in that first text. The first text going out is so important. Now, when they start replying back and forth to us, we get to be free on what we talk about. They're still not censoring that, but they do. We have to have permission for the first things we send out so that we're proving we're not spamming. We're doing solicited communication based on what they've opted in for and what we've got approval to send out with the carriers. That alone, it bothers me because they have a say in what we say in our business, but it's where we're at. And SMS works, guys. SMS works so much better than email. It's the frontier we're going to dominate in. So these are where the changes are. So let me stress out a couple of things. If you have students that are not activated in their PBS Vortex, September 1, their subscription to sign up for $59.95, they're all going to go away. We're not going to grandfather people that aren't active. All right. If somebody's inactive on September 1st, they're not going to be able to reactivate that account. They're going to have to start on the new rate. So everybody's got a 2-week window to fix their billing, activate if they're going to be using it. I probably have 30, maybe even 40 students that haven't activated their PBS Vortex yet. I'm going to be letting them know, hey, you might want to get this done. I mean, $20 a month is substantial. Get locked in now. You guys, and I would have given you guys a little bit more notice, but for some reason, I believe that my appeal would be heard. And I'm gonna tell you guys, you guys know I have a very strong telco background, and it doesn't matter who you are. Volume matters. Volume dictates rates, and we already got a substantial discount that allowed us to keep this going when we added more activity and everything. And they were not, I thought for some reason we could get another one. Like my direct rep made it sound like we were going to get like this another, and we would commit to more volume, which we're already overdoing what we were at before, but they're not willing to do it right now. So I'm gauging that as we grow this and we double our size. So like when we double our size of users of the PBS Vortex, which means we're doubling our growth and we're doubling our exposure and the training of everything, that we're going to be able to get another tier of discounts. So we don't have to keep raising rates when they raise them up again. And I don't know what they're trying to push. You guys know that the carriers are making gazillions of dollars on this. They're delivering it. They got the bandwidth. And I watched a world of telco when it used to be like 50 cents a minute, 35 cents a minute, 20 cents a minute, 9 cents a minute, and it's virtually almost free, right? To where they're dinging us on the SMS, and it's because they can. And just so you guys know, corporate America is using SMS at an alarming growth day by day. This is a money grab. But we can't do anything about it. We got to pay to play. But also let you guys know that all big successful businesses, this is how they communicate with their customers. In case you guys haven't noticed this with your banks and institutions, SMS is the premium form of communication today. It's above phone calls. So we're in it. Relatively, our pricing is amazing. I like keeping overhead as low as possible. And I was fighting this, just I always do. Is there another way to do it? Can Tanya and I commit to more? Can we leverage things to keep the rates down for everybody? So I'm looking at where things are at. I'm redoing session 2 anyway, and the new session 2 will be up with the rates by September 1st. I'm going to try to get it done sooner so that everybody that are coming in now has something like, hey, it says $79.95, but it's really $59.95 till the 1st, and you can lock in. But you guys are hearing it here first. We'll touch base on it, next week. But when you got students and stuff going, it's a good commitment, and save $20. You guys have seen us do this on the hosting for years. We have people on the original hosting pricing still that have, it's an unbelievable deal. And we just honor that going forward. And that's just how we've always done things. So we actually appreciate everybody that's digging with us day in, day out to build this. I also want to tell you though, we put some pretty big infrastructure in place to pull this off. And it's all based on numbers. So we rated it based on this is where we think we're going to be and to do a sustainability price. And then we partnered it, right? Like we took all the profits actually and then some, but all the profits based on exponential growth of what we thought we would be in 5 years. We put in the model and we shared that with everybody. And you guys, the PBS Vortex commissions, they keep growing, and then we just added more to them, right? So keep this in mind. Evolve commissions are in there, and you guys, we got people that are going to be getting several $100s more just because of that, and it's going to start equating to thousands more because of the growth that this is allowing. Now, I'm about to unveil to you guys the learning management system that's tied to Evolve. Let me plant the seed that this is a circular move. This is not just about Evolve and training on the Evolve. That's absolutely part of it, of course. But this is also another major doorway to bring students and business partners in to our RRR247 businesses as well. So I know I told you guys, actually, I'm trying to think okay, in context over the years, because this has been like manifested for a long time, I wanted to come up with a great way, a great parting gift, or a great way to keep somebody that's gone through a BRT that doesn't have the money yet to go forward, or they don't have the mindset right, or all the above to do the PBS and go forward with us, but we had a great conversation, everything sounds great, and they don't go forward. I always wanted some type of a parting gift and figure that out. We have that now. And we have that to where they're going to always be connected to us and have something they can get information on, and then always be invited into things and just to allow their mindset to grow and develop in such a way that we're giving them so much. The law of reciprocation is going to be on our side big time. We're going to give them huge value and hope that they just soak some of that in, but give us more reason just to drive the stuff that's there and let them see more of the reality of everything that's combined. Now, it's a platform. It has a membership login. It has all sorts of stuff that's unique to us on that, but it makes it a closed door training unit, and we can put some pretty good stuff in there, and then also have the ability to reach out, make sure they're logging in, stuff like that. And so it's all about somebody. There's a very big value in what we call a biz op lead. This has been my primary business, is working with biz op leads. I've always had services that help people that are in business. And then, as we launched RRR247, we not only had services, but we were the business. We were creating ways that could work for everybody, so we could, control that, grow that, share everything that's here. Well, when you look at that going forward into the future, we were well ahead of time. And so adding this element to it means we're going to be able to drip on people in that same thing. But somebody that is looking to make money outside of a job, somebody that's looking to break out. I'm going to use a term that I don't know what else to use, but I actually see a lot of like a matrix thing in as far as life when people have a job, right? You look at it. You wake up in the morning, you go to a job. You come home, have dinner, go to bed, wake up, go to work. I mean, you're in a rat race, right? It's a rat race. No matter how you look at it, that's what it is. And it's like, what are you working for? What's the end goal? What do you get out of this? Right? I still think it's slavery. But when somebody is looking to break out of that, they know that there's better freedom out there. They're seeing stuff out there and they're chasing something more. That's a person that we want to drip on and be on until they actually wake up more to the, hey, I could do something. Hey, these guys are doing something. They're real. Let's get going with them. It doesn't happen always first call, first week, first month, first year. Doesn't. It's a patient process, right? It has all the marketing directives in it. There's ascension, there's understanding, and this is just another tool that we could utilize with that's closed, private, and we can put other stuff in there and direct and guide to. I know that I'm going to add great team members that I've already talked to down the road. They'll be ready down the road. And I focus on those that are ready now, and that's what I deal with. If everybody that I've done a BRT with, just even in the past year, came to me tomorrow and said, I want to go to work, I couldn't handle it. I would be calling everybody. I mean, we'd find a way, but I'd be overwhelmed. It just doesn't happen like that. But because I've done the work and I consistently drive the work, new things are popping all the time because people are finally coming in. It's that slow, patient process that I just know lives. And I got the faster ones and I got the slower ones and even the really slow ones, but all together, it keeps consistency. It makes my time more valuable, makes what I accomplish with my time more valuable. And, if it works for me, it's going to work for you. I'm just going to, we'll just keep driving this. But what I wanted to explain with the whole evolve thing and the combination is what that gave us was a whole nother door into our marketing house. I know I've said this probably 10 times now, but it did. And what do we do with that door, right? What's the reception area we're going to give them when they come in through that door before they get to see everything in the grand hall, right? They get to come into a whole different foyer with that. That's not just a side door into everything we have. That's a side door that has its own entrance and welcoming committee, and then the grand foyer. Those are special doors. Those are doors that we get to have a great perception and for the first dose of who we are. We get to have that first impression. And perception is reality, and we get to do all that stuff. And you guys, we're not all experts in real estate yet. We have a lot here that are, though, that have been around it. And I love the fact that you guys, I can't even tell you how many people have sent me this. Rory, I've been doing real estate forever. This is the best thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, yeah, I know it's pretty special. And that's why we rolled it out there. And we're going to be even more immersed in this. I'm also going to put out this thing. We're controlling this the RRR247 way. MSI's down. We're taking over support services, everything. It's all on us. That means we're going to kick ass because we're good at it. And we're going to be able to get to the root of it, make sure everybody's getting trained properly, go forward on it, submitting the deals. I mean, you guys, I got to put more. I got to build the resource center up. I challenged myself. I learned a whole new integration system and the course building outside of what we do, and it's fun. It's fun, and we're going to drive people there. And real estate attracts different people than making money online. Sometimes it crosses over, but it's a whole nother welcoming entrance, guys. I need you to visualize and see that because that's how I see it. That's what I'm building around. And you guys, do you know one of the most important things that we have is that we actually find people that are actually business minded. That helps us out the most. And everybody that's gone through the development of being in the broke mindset and you built up to the business mindset with us here, it's not just because of me. It's because of our whole team and everybody else that helps support that. And we get to give a hand up to everyone that's willing to take it, that's willing to receive it, willing to listen, make those impacts. I mean, look what Tanya just dropped off on you guys all today. They don't teach that in school. It's taught in homes that understand it. And there's not many homes that understand it in ratio. People's success rates, there's a lot of indications on it, right? And those who manage their time have a better success rate. There's reasons, right? And there's a saying, it's success leaves clues, right? There is not one successful person out there that doesn't have their time managed. No one's loosey-goosey in being successful with their time. They just don't. I saw a thing about Elon Musk's calendar and his scheduling, it's freaking amazing. I know I got Tanya in the background. Like it's amazing. And like I looked at it and went, I bet you I could do better. How many, what am I doing in my day that wastes time? And and you guys, I don't know. I need meditation time. I schedule it. I can't just go middle of the day say, oh, I need to meditate. No, I have things I gotta get done that day, and I need to meditate to make sure it's there. It's hard to plan creativity time. You're not always creative. Sometimes you can't just sit down and pound out a new thing. I can't anyway. So sometimes that comes in there and you're like, oh, why am I getting creative now? Like I need to be doing something else and I'm getting creative. Great. And I know Tanya is the same way, but you stick to that schedule, you go forward. But the fact is, because you have a schedule, if an opening opens up, so like I look at it this way, like I'll have 3 BRTs in a row, they don't show. And if I have that creative thing that was hitting that day, I go and attack it right then because that opened up. As soon as that opens up, I go and diverge that stuff to work on it later so I can keep pressing on it. You just learn patterns and priorities to do that. And then I'm calling and doing the follow-up. Because I had a lot of time to do follow-up this week because I had no shows. And when you take your schedule, and I'm adding to this because Tanya's got me all fired up, guys. When you take your schedule and you take anything that's negative about the schedule, get planned a positive reaction to it. So for instance, BRT doesn't show up, right? Now I already got another one usually backed up behind it, another one back behind that. And if not, I'm going to start calling out my text twos, right? I'm going to start calling. I get excited about it. It's like, oh my gosh, I can actually start calling people. I'm so busy, I have a hard time catching up with those calls. That's why for me to work 100 leads a week myself is a challenge. But I do it. I keep the paces going. But I make it fun. It's like a reward. I make it my reward when a negative activity happens that I used to be like bummed, right? If something bums me, I got to find something to turn it positive because that's me just reset, refocusing, recommitting, right? Oh, I got knocked off what I thought I was going to do. I'm not going to get a PBS self. I don't talk to 3 people. So I need to create more. All right. I can go call out, right? And little tweaks make a difference. I'll put another little shout out here to Wanda Palentz, who on her own added a message to people that said, hey, Rory's really busy. If he doesn't call you 5 minutes after the hour, call him. She probably did it because she's probably looking at her thing going, Rory didn't call him on time. Well, if I'm on a BRT, that's where it is, right? And she probably like, well, I'm going to tell them to call him. And it's awesome. Awesome. I get extra calls that I didn't get. And when they call you, they're dead serious. It's the conversation, the posture, the tone, all of it changes. Little tweaks. And I appreciate everybody that with on that feedback on there. I know Niall's got a couple of things that have been being tested, some things going out there, and we're like, okay, let's see what this does. And we're going to share it, you guys. But little tweaks make a difference, and we're going to make some little tweaks in the PBS Vortex. So, you guys, you know what? I was thinking about this. I don't know anybody else that does like grandfathering of things other than, there's very few people that do it and then maintain it too. That's like yeah, Niall, I'm telling you that those calls like that's just a little message that goes out there. And yeah, it's another cost in the text, but to get a call back, oh, it's worth it. And guys, I was looking at that going, what does it cost to send that extra little text versus what it brings in, right? Oh, it's a no question because it's just on appointment sets, right? Appointment sets. It's not moving the meter of, oh, that's not worth it. No, it's worth it. It's probably one of the most it's actually probably one of the most valuable texts to go out there in the sequence because you set the appointment, right? You guys think about it. Like we set the calendar, right? We invite them to the calendar appointment. We text them what the appointment is, who they're going to talk to, the calling number. I mean, we're notifying them of everything. And now we let them know another one what the number is. If they don't call you within 5 minutes to call, so what it does is it sets a tone of urgency. Like they're busy, but call them so that you can get in there at that time. Have you ever gone to the doctor? And do they ever say, hey, if the doctor's not out here to get you your set appointment time, just come crashing in? No. You're out there waiting, going, I've been here for an hour. This is ridiculous, right? That's what we do. Because it is. It is. That gives them a message call. Now, the thing is they call me. I can just say, oh my gosh, I'm almost done. I'll call you right back. But it gets, their seriousness, right? They're calling out. But you also know that they're aware. And that person's going to have a higher priority than my next BRT that I don't know what's going to answer or not. And that's how it's going to be treated. I'm just going to put that out there. You guys, I didn't even notice it. So I know I'll tell you guys a story. I'm doing BRTs, and Wanda sets up 5 a day for me sometimes. She does between 20 and 30 appointments a week for me. And she has the right attitude about it too. She knows it's we're finding the right people. I got all sorts of people lined up. Her right business in Bella Vita is just growing with the stuff coming in from everything we're doing, and she's contributing. But she's just consistently doing it, right? She's working 2 other jobs, and she's still finding time to set that many appointments. This is the power of assisted V-marketing. And she talks to people when she can. She takes appointments when she can. She's in that hey, I'm going to give Rory as many as I can. I'll take whatever I can, and I'm just going to keep plugging ahead. Brilliant. And you guys, I'm finding some gems in this mix, just like you will. Do the numbers, they work out. If she gives me, I'm going to find, and my follow-up process, we just get that refined. You know what? I don't have time to do the necessary follow-up. And it should be necessary because there's so many new BRTs that are coming in. But if they don't answer, I got number 2s I can call. I call them number 2s. Number 1's text 1, number 2's text 2. I have number 2s I can call always. And I got follow-up. I can just go pull up in my leads in PBS Vortex, go to the source or status, and just I go pending BRTs. And then I start reaching out. Hey, is this a good time? I call and I send a text. Hey, can we reschedule? Hey, can we reschedule? Hey, can we reschedule? I do 5, 10. I'm going to get another appointment out of them. And they're like, follow-up's amazing. To be tenacious. And as we're gonna go into the V marketing training here in just a few, I just want to stress it. And consistency is everything. If you only set 5 appointments a week for your instructor to work on your behalf, because that's where you're at, just do 5 a week. Don't slack. Don't take off the pressure. Yeah, you want to do more. Well, maybe you'll find a way to move your time around and get 6 the next week. Little changes. Look for what you can do. What you can't do is nothing. Like, we know these are measurable things that work. We know it works. But we have to work it to have it work, right? There's no automation in doing the V marketing. We got to know the messages are going out there. We got to set the appointments, and you got to be hands-on on it. And then little tweaks make a difference. We're working through this, guys. I'm so excited where we're at now, and I was excited before. And now I'm like, wow, we're making these little tweaks, just little tweaks. And every new person we put in the PBS process, it gets exposure to the community, gets exposure to the training, gets exposure to the products we market and sell. That's all winning. It's all winning. And we adapt, we change. I look at where this is. I said, it's going to, like, next year, this is going to look completely refined from where it is today. In a good way. We're getting better and better and getting that success rate up. We're gonna have some big deals hit with the Evolve program where the incomes of our students are going to be astronomically bigger. Right? It's still the same type of marketing, just extra zeros on it. It's fun. And we're going to be stemming that, and we're going to be growing that, and we're going to be building all the other stuff around it, and all the different income streams. And I don't know. I just love where we're at. All right. You know what? Niall, Dean, I don't know if you guys would do like a 5-minute break. Do you want to start on V marketing a little early today?
Sure, I'm able.
Perfect. I think this is a good place to just like I could go on for right, but now I'm like I want to see the remarketing go, and I'll stay on for a bit here. Well, let's you guys, and this is what you need to be doing, and we just drive it out there, drive it home, get the message out there, and you guys because remember you guys own the leads. I mean, we give them to you; they're yours. We follow up on them, right? We're going to entice them into the real estate. We're going to entice them this. We're going to re-entice them into everything. We're just going to churn on them. We're not going to give up on them. We're just going to basically, hey, here's another door when you want to come in. Remember, they came looking for us for a solution at a point. Most of them, multiple times. They're waking up to, hey, this rat race thing isn't where I should be. This isn't giving me the life I wanted. I don't have the time with my kids. I don't have the time with my family. They're seeing it. They got to change. They got to do something that's not linear income. Well, we have lots of things that aren't linear income, right? That's all we are. We're all about, time and financial freedom, folks. And we get things going. I also yes, we're making some headway, and I hear more and more things about Google success, right? And you guys, I have no idea what everybody makes from Google AdSense. I have no master admin. It's all individualized. But I do know that an extra 100, 200, 300, 400 a month from something that's not related to all the other stuff we do is a nice thing to have. And, when you look at the way I draw it out there, I want every one of my students to be doing enough that they're getting an extra 10 bucks a day. Why? Because it covers all the overheads and then some. And then once you're making 10 bucks a day, it's just a matter of duplication, replication, consistency. And then we can go to 20 bucks a day, 30 bucks a day, 40 bucks a day. I've been at averages of $45 a day. It's not bad. I prefer the 100, 200, $300 a day. Sure, absolutely. But you got to drive a lot of ads for that. At least I do. I'm sure it's the same for everybody. But you know what? You get a good article that takes off. It's fun. You watch it throttle up. Something's hitting for a while. And that's where, guys, we're going to get back to really good content to drive that. But this evolve thing, there's a lot we get to do with that. And it's high paying keywords that surround it. High paying advertising that surrounds it. It's a golden keyword area, which I've talked about forever. All right, Tina, whenever you're ready, I'm gonna if you're on YouTube, go log into your CRM because I'm taking it off.